A warm welcome to everybody listening to this interview. This is Rohit Murli from The Gindi Times, the official campus magazine of CEG, ACTech, and SAP. So, as part of our competitive exam interview series, here we have with us our interviewee, Mr. Prabhu, who fared an extraordinary score of 98.31 percentile in his 2019 CAT and 99.79 percentile in his 2020 XAT. He is a CEG alumnus from 2018 mechanical batch. First of all, could you please introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, hi Rohit. So I graduated in 2018, BE Mechanical Engineering from CG. So after which I worked in Voltas for 2 years. So while working in Voltas, three of my classmates, we basically were discussing on what to do and how to proceed with career and stuff. And that's when actually I decided to pursue this MBA. So I studied for CAT for almost some 8 to 10 months. Like we three of us together, we studied for the exam and then somehow got. And basically, I grew up in Chennai. Did my schooling, everything completely in Chennai. Even during work, I was in Chennai for almost 1.5 years here, and then I worked in Coimbatore for a year. That's about me.
Wow, that's great. So, moving on to the first question, what was it that made you to take MBA as a postgraduate course and maybe pursue a career in this field?
Yeah, so actually, this wasn't a decision that I took while I was in college. So my aim or plan during college was basically to just complete engineering and then get placed in some core industry and then proceed on with my career path. But then after my job in Voltas, I was basically put into sales role, and then that's where I was kind of exposed to these kind of different roles and opportunities that were available, and that's the point when I realized that there isn't actually that much opportunities available that is more related towards technical field. So, like as I mentioned earlier, like we friends, three of us, we discussed together and thought like MBA could be a better option than an MS or something else for us at that point of time. So it's basically more of a decision that was based on my career that I was at that point. So I thought MBA would be a better option for me. So we discussed, then planned, and then went on to do this.
That's really nice. So, Common Admission Test CAT is one of the most difficult entrance tests in the country. So, how did you feel at that moment you got to know that you cracked the exam with such a brilliant score?
So actually, it was kind of more like an unexpected thing because while starting to prepare for the exam, we know that like the number of people who actually convert CAT or like get a good percentile in CAT and then convert the interview calls is like too small compared to the entire set of people who are taking the exam. So what I thought when I was taking CAT exam was to like give 2019 CAT a shot and then be more serious and prepare for CAT 2020. But then like but I thought like I would put my entire efforts into it, like do something because I was kind of late in my preparation. Like I started only during late March or April, and I had some around 8 months to for the exam. So it was like mostly my plan was to give CAT 19 a shot and then maybe try for CAT 20. I think for me it worked out because I wasn't much in like I wasn't stressed and I didn't have any kind of pressure that I had to clear CAT at that point of time because I had a job and I had a backup plan. So I think that was the reason that I could actually clear CAT exam. So,
True, that makes sense. Okay, so could you please elaborate on the various sections tested in CAT and how to go about with the preparation for each?
yeah, so actually the pattern has changed right now. Like last year when I was preparing for the exam, the pattern was like this. The CAT is basically a 3 year exam. So it tests basically three skills of the aspirant. So first section would be verbal and reading comprehension. It basically tests your comprehension skills. So you will have around 6 or 5 sets of RC sets. You just have to read it and answer the questions that are following up next. And then this next section, which is DLR, would basically test your data interpretation and logical skills. So it's also kind of similar to the BASC pattern, wherein you have some 8 sets of questions. Each question would have around 4 questions depending on the data that is given in the above passage, and you have to answer. And the last section is the quant section. It's basically more or less it covers all the math concepts that taught till 10th standard. Basically, it's all high school maths, and these are the 3 sections in CAT exam. And it's not that you have to excel in all 3. So since it's like kind of normalizes the score and it's a percentile kind of exam, so if you are strong in any 2 sections, you can actually manage to get a good percentage. So that's how you have to approach the exam too, because it's not possible that you could excel in all 3 sections of the exam, and it also depends more on your question selection and how you approach the exam. So attempting different mock exams, there are different mock series that are offered by these coaching institutes. So taking those mock exams would actually kind of help you in order to know how the exam pattern is, and writing more mock exams would actually help you to improve your schools.
Okay.
It is actually it may differ for few people. Like I know few people who didn't take as many mocks but scored a good score. But in my case, my only preparation was to write mock exams. Like whenever I get some time, I would just attend a mock exam. So I would sit for 3 hours and attend an exam. So that like I attended almost 40 to 45 mocks. Yeah, but apart from that, I didn't do any other preparation. As in, I didn't do any sectional tests or concept-wise questions. So it may differ for every person. You have to find out what is better for you and what suits you.
Wow, it's very inspiring and insightful. So, moving on to the next question, which one would you prefer, self-coaching or joining coaching institutes for CAT?
I would say that also depends on the individual. Like because if you are confident and if you're sure that like you are determined to sit for hours and prepare, and if you have a clean say strategy to approach towards the exam, and you feel that you might do at home, like you would be consistent with your preparation. Almost all materials are available online. Like you can just get them from. There are different institutes that are offering free material. You can get access to all the previous year question papers. You can actually prepare at home, but joining a coaching institute would help you in getting a better structure, like having a clear plan towards your preparation. So like there would be classes every week. So either weekend or during weekdays, you have to go and attend the classes. So you don't like deviate from the path. Like there might be few cases for me. Like I was working and then I was preparing. So there might be few days, like few weekends where and like I can't spend time. Like I would like be stressed out or I can't allocate time for preparation. But like after joining this coaching institute, like I had this thing that I have to go to this coaching institute every Saturday or Sunday and attend this. So you have to make the choice. Like if you can prepare it, if you don't have any other commitments and you can spend enough amount of time preparing for the exam, you can actually prepare it on your own.
Okay, that's nice. So, would you recommend any specific websites or authors among the books available for CAT preparation?
So for quants, like the third section, you basically there is this book Arun Sharma, quantitative. I don't remember the name of the book, but it's Arun Sharma. Like almost, it's very popular among CAT aspirants. So if you start with that, covering all the basics would be it would almost cover all kinds of, like there would be 3 sets of questions, level 1, level 2 and level 3 difficulty. If you are able to practice level 1 and level 2, that's fine. That would basically strengthen your quant skills. And apart from that, what material I refer to online is like 2am. There is this website called 2am. So they have this repository of all previous year question papers segmented into different topics under quant. So I use that to attempt few tests online. And then I subscribe to IMS and Career Launcher mock series. So all those mock exams, as I told earlier, like you have to start attempting mocks at least 3 or 4 months before your exam, so that you know where you make mistakes, in what questions. They give this detailed analysis of all your tests. So you can view what questions you made an error, what questions you got a negative mark, and also how much time you spent on each question. So that analysis plays a major role in analyzing a score. So you can subscribe to any mock series. The famous ones are Time, IMS, Career Launcher. So any two or one among these three would do good. Hello.
Sounds we need vigorous preparation for CAT. So, do you think work experience is definitely a prerequisite for getting into the premier management institutes? And do students like you have an upper hand over the ones who join immediately after their undergrad?
It's not a prerequisite, as in it's not mandatory that you have to have a work experience in order to get an MBA offer or a shortlist. But in my opinion, it would help you both in your interviews and also even since I'm into college and almost completed one term, I could say if you have some work experience, it would be easier for you to kind of relate all those concepts with your work experience. So that might give you a different perspective while studying MBA, but it's not mandatory. Also, there is an upper hand for people with work ex because not CAT, during interview shortlist, most of the colleges give a percentage allocation for work ex. It's very less, but it kind of makes a difference when there are 2 lakh people competing for in the exam. So there is an upper hand for people with work ex. But more than that, I would say it would help the student in understanding the concepts better when he's into an MBA. Yeah.
Okay, so
Also, it really helped me during my interviews. If you're a fresher, the interview panel, they don't have any other thing to test you on. They basically go into your undergrad subjects, or they ask you some random questions on current affairs. So that is kind of hard, in my opinion, because I was not that strong in my undergraduate subjects. So neither am I strong in my current affairs, the current affairs. So if you have a work experience, also if that work experience is somehow related to MBA, you can actually take the entire interview into that and easily convert the interview. Yeah.
okay. So, what are your future plans after pursuing your masters?
So right now I don't have a fixed sector or a particular question as into get into, but I'm kind of looking into a general management kind of role or a marketing role during my internship, and depending on how my internship goes on, I might make a decision when I sit for my final placement. So right now I'm just more open to different opportunities.
Okay. So, what are the major differences between CAT and the other exams like XAT in terms of their mode of assessment, and how do we go forward with the preparation for the other exams?
So most of the exams, it's almost similar. There isn't much difference as such, but that there is this one segment which is instead of the DILR in CAT, there is this decision making and decision making session, I guess. So it poses more of it puts you in a situation. It gives a business situation and puts you there, and you have to make some decisions. So that might work for someone, that might only, it's more subjective. You can't predict the results how it might be. So that's the only difference between that and CAT. And apart from that, other exams like SNAP, IFT, NMAT, almost all these exams have similar kind of, only the number of questions or the time would vary. The syllabus or the portion is almost similar.
Okay. Any advice that you would like to give to the CAT aspirants out there?
I would say I wasn't that clear during my undergraduate. I didn't even consider giving a CAT or a GATE during my undergraduation. So if you are in say third year or fourth year, you basically have a lot of free time. I know when I was in CEG, I was just roaming around in college. I know that I could have spent those time in a much better way. So if you start kind of early, even if you can't clear the exam in your final year, you may take it an attempt again after you join some sector, like after your undergraduate, if you go into some company and you work there, you can later take the only thing that I regretted when I started my CAT preparation was that I wasted a lot of time during my undergraduate. So if you make the station little earlier, it would be kind of advantageous for you.
Okay. Finally, what do you feel about our GT interview series?
Yeah. So I think like even when I was in my final year, there was this same interview series going, but I think it was more in their articles. Like they used to publish it online. I don't think they had this YouTube channel, or I may be wrong.
Yeah, we
But
had for intern diaries at that moment, and we did have
yeah,
this year too. So.
yeah. So I think it's better in a way. Also, like right now, uh, students are not in college and you don't get the chance to meet your seniors or speak to the other people. So YouTube or Zoom, Google Meets, all these platforms are right now like coming into help, and almost like my entire MBA right now is going in Zoom. So like having this interview series in YouTube, it's better in a way. Like it's easier to connect people and also easier to spread information than in the. So I think it's a better way to have this one-on-one interaction, and I think you could also kind of make other series as well, going into asking different people who are right now working and getting some insights from them, how their work is after 2 years or something like that. I think that would be interesting.
Okay. So thank you so much for spending your valuable time and giving us very insightful and inspiring advice. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you.